Ladies and gentlemen, what the world has been waiting for, what the world needs now, the one, the only, amazing, original, Johnny Blades. Often imitated, but never duplicated. There's Johnny.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to welcome you all to the amazing original Johnny Blaze Show. It's always great to be here as I blaze right in with my karate kick. Let's have a blazing hot fun time. A patient was speaking to his doctor, and instead of paying for this medication, I have decided to leave you the money in my will. The doctor replied, "You are very generous. Now I just need to make a slight adjustment to your prescription. Then I'll send you on your way." A boy was teasing a stray cat in the schoolyard when he was suddenly confronted by his teacher. She told him, "Whatever you do to that poor creature, that's what I will do to you." "Okay," said the boy. "First, I'm going to give this cat all my money. Then I'm going to take him to Disneyland. And then I'm going to give him the rest of the school year off." A motorist got caught in an automated speed trap. A week later, he received a $500 ticket in the mail, along with a photo of his car. The man responded by mailing back a photograph of $500. Later that week, two policemen appeared at the man's door. One of them held a photo of a gun, and the other gave the man a photo of a pair of handcuffs. He said, "Come quietly, or we'll have to show you a photo of a jail cell." When I was a kid, my parents constantly told me, money doesn't grow on trees. Now that marijuana is legal, they constantly tell me, "Why aren't you out back planting trees that grow money?" We have a blazing hot fun show with a special guest. He is a multi-talented singer and songwriter. Please give a big warm welcome and say hello to Pete Price. Pete Price.
Yes.
Hey, welcome to the amazing Richard Johnny Blaze Show.
Hey, how you doing, Johnny?
Okay, you're a little bit early, but it gets better early than late, or not at all.
Yeah, well, it's closing in on midnight here, so.
I understand. You're in Ohio, aren't you? Right.
That's correct. Yeah.
I got you. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Well, I'm glad you decided to come on the show. And let's. Anyway, Pete, give me a rundown of the Pete Price story. Let me know how did you get started in entertainment, and where are you from? You're from Ohio. It sounds like. Okay.
Right. Yeah. Well, I got started early singing in church choir, and then in junior high, I joined my first band as a lead singer. I didn't know how to play an instrument at that point. And after that, I started learning how to play the guitar, and, sort of worked my way into, bands here and there through my 20s and 30s, and lived out in Colorado for about 14 years and played in duos out there. And then I made it back to Ohio in the 80s and got involved with the Fry's band. And the Fry's have been together for over 30 years now. And we're still going strong. And so we do mostly, in fact, we do all covers in the Fry's. And I've always been a songwriter. So when COVID hit, all our gigs got canceled. And so I just went back into songwriting and started writing a lot of music and recording. And so I had enough songs to make an album, and decided that I would take the jump and record an album. And the result was the Department of the Interior. So that kind of brings you up to date in a very thumbnail sort of way.
Well, congratulations on the Department of the Interior, Pete.
Thank you.
And you know what? It's a little pun, but Pete, you paid the price and continue to do it. I thought you'd like that.
Yeah, with COVID, I've said that every cloud has a silver lining. Dark cloud has a silver lining, and the dark cloud of COVID was the silver lining was that I had a chance to concentrate on songwriting. So
that sounds like that worked out for you, Pete.
It did, yeah.
All's well that ends well, right? That's great.
You bet.
I'm happy about that. That's great. I'm glad you accomplished that, Pete.
Thank you.
Give me a rundown of your, what's a typical day as a singer and songwriter?
Well, I try to get up early, around 6 or so, and check out the news, have some coffee. I study foreign languages. I'm studying Italian, French, and German. And so I do my language lessons in the morning, and then as soon as I get done with them, I pick up my guitar and just sort of noodle around and whatever comes to mind. Usually I do most of my songwriting in the morning when my mind is fresh. And once that happens, then I try to get some exercise, get some motion in my life, and that keeps me healthy. And then whatever I need to do, I don't have to work full time anymore. So I own a few properties, and so I just manage those properties and keep them maintained, and that's a very part-time job for me. So that's pretty much it, and whatever my wife wants me to do, of course.
I see. So what did you? So you own property? Is that what you did before you got into entertainment? Is owning properties?
Actually, no. I was a general contractor, and I owned a business for 31 years. And in 2018, I wound up selling it, and I was out on the street without a job or anything. So
wow, what type of business was this that you were in?
It was mostly commercial remodeling, but I also did some high-end residential stuff as well.
Oh, so you're versatile.
Yeah, a carpenter by trade, and still, I can maintain those properties by myself, and so that saves me some money, I guess. Keep
You're
me
Peter
busy.
Price of all trades, of various trades. Okay.
Yeah.
Contractor. All right. Okay.
Yeah. So I played music part-time while I had my business, and but we play on weekends, and we stayed busy for sure.
You play instrument now? What you play the guitar? Is it a lead guitar, or is it rhythm or bass? What do you?
I play both rhythm and lead guitar. I play lead guitar in the Fries, and I play rhythm guitar in the Price Brothers. And then I also have a duo called the Fairview Stringers with a friend of mine, and we both play lead guitar. We just sort of trade off.
I see. So you sing also, right?
Yes, of course.
So how did you? Are you self-taught? Did you take any lessons from as on the instruments or the voice?
I am self-taught.
You are.
Okay. Yeah. I sort of am a student. I've taken some stuff online to try to improve my skills, and especially vocals. I've tried to improve my ability to sing, but mostly self-taught.
I see. Is there anybody who inspired you? Any singer inspired you, and also what kind of music do you go for? Is it pop or rhythm and blues, rock, folk, country, jazz? I mean, it could be anything.
Yeah, I really like rock and blues. The Allman Brothers were a big influence on me. Obviously, the Beatles were a big influence. And they really kind of did a variety of styles. And then the singer-songwriters that I liked the most were Dan Fogelberg, Jackson Brown, and James Taylor. Those were probably the three top singer-songwriters that influenced me.
Those are interesting. Oh, yeah. Those are successful people. That's for sure.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Well, that's fantastic. That is really good. That's very good. So as far as, do you have any, when you do your performing, tell me about the performances that you do, your favorite venues, tours that you've taken, where have you gone, and any favorites of the various places that you've been to?
Sure. Mostly we've performed around the Southern Ohio area, and we've opened for a number of national acts like the Guess Who, Kansas, Gladys Knight and the Pips, Martina McBride, Steve Morse, the Dixie Dregs, Mick Fleetwood.
Wow.
We've had some great shows, but mostly we perform here around Southern Ohio. We've stayed fairly close to home.
I see.
And since I've got like three different, well, actually four iterations, I've got the Fry's band, and then the Price Brothers, which is the band that I put together to support Department of the Interior, and then the Fairview Stringers, which is the duo that I play in, and then also I play some solo shows. So, it keeps me kind of busy and juggling, all the different songs that I have to play for any discrete musical act.
So you have about three different bands, you told me. That's what it sounds like. Wow.
Yeah.
And any favorites? You like them equally? And how did you go about meeting all these band members, and what do they play?
Well, let's see. In the Fry's, we started out as an acoustic trio. Basically, we became popular in the unplugged era. So it was three acoustic guitars, amplified, of course, and three vocals. And we concentrated mostly on vocal harmony. And over time, that band morphed into a five-piece band, and with drums and bass. And that's the way we are today. And I love playing in that band. We've got a lot of good friends in that band, and there's guys that have been together for one of the guys and I have been together over 30 years, but some of the other guys have been with us for over 10 years.
Wow. And where'd you get the name Fry's? How did that come about?
Well, it actually happened at our first open stage. We decided that we would test the waters and see if we would get a good response. And so when we came out on stage, we didn't have a name. And so the gal who was the MC for the open stage, she just introduced us as Eddie Chicken and the French Fries. So for the first several years, well, actually the story goes on, and we were supposed to pick a name before we booked our first club engagement. And the guy who booked us was actually at the open stage that night. And one of the other guys was supposed to, give him a name, and he never got around to it. So the guy just put in the paper that the French Fries were going to be playing at his club that weekend. And so we became the French Fries for the first several years, and then we just shortened it to the Fries.
Well, that's an interesting story. That's kind of catchy. Grab people.
Yeah. We've been doing it for a long time.
Great. And how about the other bands now? The story of how did you get started on those? And
let's see. Yeah, well, the Fairview Stringers, we've been together since 2019. A friend of mine who I went to grade school with, and we went to a grade school called Fairview Elementary. So we decided that we would call ourselves the Fairview Stringers. Mm-hmm. The reason why I started the Fairview Stringers was that I wanted to play some of my original music. I was writing songs and, really felt like I needed to get those out and so people could hear them. And my partner, Dan, who's my partner in the Fairview Stringers, he was supportive of that. And so we have, been playing a lot of my original music along with some covers.
Oh, I see. So you got you change it up, you get a combination. Good.
Yeah. And then the Price Brothers is, the band that has supported the CD release. And we don't play very often. I sort of cobbled that band together from members from other groups. And so they all have responsibilities, other musical responsibilities. So, we'll probably play 2 or 3 times this coming summer.
Let's see. Well, you've got a variety of experiences and networking, and you're never a dull moment. You have a lot to be thankful for.
Oh yeah, I've enjoyed it. It's been a lot of fun.
And now you do both covers and originals. Do you prefer covers or originals, or you like them equally?
I probably prefer doing my originals, but covers are definitely something that the audience enjoys. And so if you're going to play out in front of people, you need to have a blend of both covers and originals in order to, keep the audience, unless you really have built a name for yourself.
Right. Well, that way you keep their attention. Yeah. What happens?
Right.
You ever had a time where the audience didn't feel too energized? They looked like they were bored. And if that's the case, how did you handle that?
Well, you just you get through the song, you do the best you can with it, and then you move on to something that gets them moving. Usually, if you can get them up dancing, then everything is cool.
What about audience participation now? You have mostly audience participation on your shows, and if you do, how do they participate? How do you get that going?
We have a couple of guys who are more front men than I am, and they'll just kind of start clapping and get the audience to clap, and that's usually how it happens. I'm more of a laid back kind of guy, and I like to just play my instrument and sing and do whatever I have to do. But I'm not one of these guys that has the huge personality that wants to be out in front and be the center of attention.
Oh, I see. Okay. Well, different strokes for different folks. One person's treasure, what is someone else's trash? That's what makes life interesting. Everybody's different. You have your own unique personality, and then they blend in with you, and what you don't do, they do. It sounds like, and yeah,
Sure.
That's great.
Yeah, you got to have people like that in your band. Otherwise, the band really doesn't get very popular. You need to have those people that can get out there and get the audience moving and identify with you and stuff.
So that's teamwork. Yeah, that's what you call
Yeah.
teamwork.
Yeah,
Right.
absolutely. So we have one guy that's in the Fries who basically is the face of the group, and he'll go out and he'll work the crowd, like after the shows and stuff like that. He'll be out there talking for 45 minutes and so, and I'll just I'll talk for a while with people, and then I'll go back and I'll start rolling up his gear and stuff like that, because I know that's really an important part of the band is him being out there. So I figure he's good at that, and I can roll up chords.
Each person does their own what they specialize in, what they enjoy doing, right? Okay.
Absolutely. Yep.
Yeah. So you do meet and greets, it sounds like, too, right?
Well,
An autograph, yeah.
Well, I don't know if anybody really wants my autograph, but I autograph CDs and stuff like that. So
Right. Do you prefer large crowds or small crowds, or is it about the same? Or is there, and if so, what is it about whatever you prefer that you really like?
I like large crowds. We play for some pretty big crowds. Usually our crowds are anywhere from 500 to 5,000, and those big crowds, they keep you on your game. But when you hear that thunderous applause after a song, or when you're done with the gig, man, it feels really good.
Yeah, it must. Has there ever been a time in your performances where you tried your best to make it work, and for some reasons nothing seemed to work? Like Murphy's Law, if anything go wrong, it can and will. And if so, how did you handle that?
Usually it comes down to song selection and picking the songs for that particular venue. And so if you've got a crowd that wants to hear up tempo stuff, then you go toward that. You break out of your set list. If you've got some more ballad type numbers coming up, we'll just kind of put our heads together, and we'll change the set list right on the fly so that we can pull the audience back in and get.
How do you know that? How are you able to gauge what they go for? Whether it be a ballad or a real fast upbeat song. How are you able to determine that?
Oh, you can just read your crowd. We've been doing it long enough where we have a pretty good idea of how things are going out there, and whether people are sitting on their hands or if they're really into it or not. So that's kind of how we read it, and I think most of the time we read it correctly.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah.
You know what you're doing, it sounds like.
Well, I mean, we've been doing it for a long time, and we've been very popular for a long time too. So,
How many years did you say? About 30 years that you've been doing it?
yeah, over 30 years now.
That's a long time. That is a long time.
Yeah, it is.
How do you handle performance anxiety? Do you ever get performance anxiety before you get ready to perform?
Yeah, I do. And it used to be worse. I've always felt like this is something that I just have to get over. And so there was some times where I just didn't want to go to the show, and but I did. I forced myself to, and by the time I had everything set up and played the first note, I was fine.
So if you didn't want to go to the show, you must have been extremely nervous then.
Yeah, I think so. I think I was going through some issues like around COVID, and like I think part of it was when I ran my business. I don't know if you've ever run a small business, but I describe it as climbing a wall of worry every day, because there's so many things that you just got to keep in mind, and you've got to manage and stuff like that. And so, going through that and losing both of my parents and stuff like that. I
lost both of your parents, so I'm very sorry.
Well, gosh, they were. My father was 95 and my mom was 89. So
they had a long life.
Yeah, they had a long, good life. But when you lose them, it's tough. And so that and a few other things in my personal life just sort of created, I think, a feeling of overall anxiety. And so it kind of like translated into my performing too. So it was something that I felt like I just had to get on top of. And so I've just continued to work at it and, put myself out there. And
your parents were probably very proud of you. You say your mom was 85?
My mom was 89 and my dad was 95.
Well, your mom was 89, your dad was 90. Okay, they're sure they were proud of you.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I think they were. I was sure proud of them.
Did you come from a musical family? Were your parents involved in music at all? Or?
Yeah, my mom played piano, and she got us involved in music at a pretty early age. My father was a minister, and he got me involved in choir, and I found that I had a decent singing voice, and got some solos early on as kind of a boy soprano. And so they got us involved in music. My brother and sister both played piano, and my brother plays guitar and my sister played guitar when she was living. We do have a musical family.
It's all in the family. That it is. It's all in the Price family. Yeah.
Yeah.
The price is right for you.
Never heard that before.
Okay, well, I'm just going by what I hear. Wow. No, that's fantastic, Pete. Really
Thank you.
That's something to be proud of. That is really great. Let me ask you, have you worked with any celebrities at all?
And
if you did, can you tell me any stories, any celebrity stories?
I really can't. Well, we have some people that are more local. A guy named Henry Lee Summer, who was from Indianapolis, who we performed with. And he was a wild man. But, I don't really have any like personal stories of interacting with celebrities.
You don't? Okay.
Although the people that I recorded 8 of the songs on Department of the Interior are pretty well-known musicians. I recorded 8 songs down in Nashville, and these guys were fantastic to work with.
Oh, okay. Department of the Interior. No, that was the name of your album, which you released in was it March 2022? Right.
Yeah, it was March 2022. Mm-hmm.
And how did you come up with that name, Department of the Interior? Is anything in particular that you?
It's kind of a limited look at reality and our roles in reality. I mean, how we sort of process our lives and it's sort of like the inner life that everybody lives, whether they realize it or not. I kind of am interested in, what motivates a person, and, how they communicate with other people and stuff like that. And so many of the songs are written toward that.
Oh, okay. So that inspires you, it sounds like.
Yeah, it definitely does.
Yeah, motivated. Yeah, very good. Have you won now? Okay, have you ever been on any television shows at all?
Yeah, like the local TV networks here in Dayton, Ohio. We've been on the air a few times on television.
What are the names of the shows that you were local?
Gosh, it's been a while, so I don't remember.
Okay,
Sorry.
It's all right. It'll probably come back. I've had that happen too. I keep trying to think of something I can't think of, but now all of a sudden, I least expected it comes right back to me. That's what I was going to ask. Another thing is, what if you're in the middle of doing a performance, you forget the words of a song, or you're trying to write a song and you get writer's block? That's ever happened to you? If it did, how do you handle it? How do you overcome it?
Well, as far as forgetting lyrics, I actually am very good about remembering those things, but I know that sometimes I'll get to the start of a song and my mind will be blank until that exact moment when I have to open my mouth and sing, and all of a sudden the words will be there. So,
I see. It comes. That's it. It comes to you.
It's in there somewhere. You just have to access it, and it's kind of a miracle how that happens, where all of a sudden it'll just be there. And but I have forgotten words before when I've been up there playing, and you just kind of mumble something that sounds right, and
so you do something that sounds like similar to what you may have done. Try to be creative and improvise. That's what it sounds like.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And then you had another part of that question. Writer's block with songwriting.
Right.
Yeah, I approach writing lyrics in sort of a layered way, where I'll just write something out, and it won't be the final lyrics, but it'll be lyrics that will fit the form of the song. Then I'll go back and I'll start playing it and singing it so that I make sure that the words fit the cadence of the song. And then I'll start refining those words to make them exactly how I want to say them. Like I'll always find better words to use to make the song more concise and more meaningful to the listener. So that's sort of how I do it.
The words come first before the music? Is that what you're telling me?
Well, most of the time the music comes first.
Well, the other way around. Okay.
Yeah, but I would say maybe 30% of my songs, 25 to 30% of my songs, the lyrics come first, or at least the idea for what I want to write about comes first, and then most of the other times I have a melody and a riff on the guitar and stuff like that I kind of build the song around.
Let's see.
So that's what happens most of the time.
And how many songs would you say you've created, original songs?
Oh gosh, probably, I don't know, 50 or 60.
That's quite a bit. Any idea of any secrets on how to make a catchy song that could be a hit? Do you have any secrets to share?
I think what you have to do is you have to write about something that is meaningful. Sometimes it helps if you can write about something that is topical, that people are interested in, but that you are also interested in. So those are two good ways to do it. Most of the time, people are looking for a good beat and they're looking for a good hook. So if you can build a song around like a good hook, that is, I think, a proven method to, writing a song that people will like.
You gotta hook people in, just like a book. If you don't hook a person in the first paragraph in a book, they're gonna put it down. It's the same thing probably for a song.
I think so.
Get their attention, right? Yep.
Yes. Yeah.
What kind of idea? Where do you get your ideas in order to do it, to write the songs? Anything? Is it from experiences, or any particular experiences, or certain activities that you've done?
Yeah. A lot of them are experiences. A lot of them are just like random thoughts. Like I'll think of something that is like a catchy word phrase, and I'll build a song around that. Like "Diamonds in the Sky" was something that was a catchy word phrase, and I was able to build a song around that phrase "Diamonds in the Sky." So that's kind of how I do it.
Okay. Everybody does their own technique, that's for sure. So, have you ever entered any talent contests or music competitions or any kind of award shows? And if so, tell me all about that. And if you ever won any awards or?
Well, we would enter the national anthem contest every year, and the grand prize was going down and singing the anthem at the Reds games. And so we won that several years ago, and got to sing the national anthem at the Reds game. So that's, we don't usually enter contests or anything like that, but we did want to sing at the Reds game if we could.
Well, that must have been a fun experience.
Oh, it's great. Yeah, it was great. That stadium effect is real. The reverb that you get. So, you don't want to listen to yourself when you're singing in a big baseball stadium.
Yeah, that must be a rewarding experience. Is there an experience now that you want to forget that's totally forgettable? It was so bad that you want to forget about it, but yet you can still remember how bad it was.
Let's see. Well, I remember one time very early on when we started out as the Fries, and we were still we were the Fries at that point, but we had a guy in the audience that wanted to hear country music, and we didn't have any country songs. We were basically rock and roll, and he wanted country, and he was just merciless as far as heckling us. And one of the guys in the band wanted to get off the stage and mix it up with him, but we kind of held him back. So that was about the worst experience I had as a band member.
So that's probably the most worst, or even the most embarrassing experience you've had, it sounds like.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, you don't want to lose your cool.
No, of course. Once you lose your cool, that's it.
Yeah.
You don't want to let them control you. You control them.
Right. Yeah. But this guy was ready to mix it up with this guy who was probably twice his size too. So
you didn't have the country. So, I mean, somehow you were able to handle it without it becoming violent, and you were able to continue to do your show, but he kept on disrupting it. So how did you calm him down? How was he calmed down?
I think eventually the manager came over and got him out of there. He was being loud and disruptive, and finally the management came and took care of the situation.
Well, that's good. So
a band shouldn't have to do that.
No, that's true. You shouldn't have to go through that. You're there to entertain. You're there to have a good, give the people a fantastic, entertaining, fun time. Not there to argue and fight. That's for sure.
Yeah, you're right.
There's always a bad seed in the bunch, right?
Yeah, there usually is, but we've been mostly successful in keeping people entertained all these years.
That sounds like it. 30 years. That is a long time. That is a real long time. Right. Huh. Wow. That's very interesting. That it is, Pete. Yeah. What about how do you handle working on a deadline when you're working on a deadline?
Well,
And if you have to come across with a song all of a sudden, particular song.
it's funny because somehow the song will be there. If you have a deadline and I don't know, I mean, you just turn it over to some higher power inside you, and all of a sudden the song is there. So I try not to worry about it, and I try to manage deadlines like I would have managed my business. But being creative, sometimes you don't know what you're going to come up with, and so I just do the best I can, and usually something is there for me so that I can present it if I need to.
I see. Well, it's not like you handle most things.
Yeah, I think so for the most part.
That's fantastic. That it is. What would you say? The challenge you face you have any real challenges in performing that you faced, and how are you able to overcome challenges in performing?
Well, we talked about the whole stage fright thing, and that's probably the biggest challenge. And I think the other thing is when you are working with other musicians, you have to be very careful. Musicians are kind of high strung. They've got egos. You have to walk very carefully and be very diplomatic in order to keep the band together. And obviously we've been successful with that for having one together for 30 years.
It is a long time. Have you ever had any disagreements in your band? How you be able to handle that? Any disagreements that you may have had amongst your band members or any venues?
Yeah, mostly among band members, and things blow over after a while. I try to be very upfront and very honest with what my expectations are, and how I'm trying to communicate with people so that they just know exactly where I'm coming from. But not everybody is like that, and there can be some big misunderstandings when it comes to communicating with band members. But you just do the best you can. Sometimes we've had guys quit. We had one guy quit in the middle of the season, and we had to scramble and use substitutes the rest of the year. But those things kind of happen, and fortunately we've been able to survive.
So you just replace somebody with someone else.
Yeah, that's right. You just plug in another part and do the best you can.
Move right on.
Yeah.
You ever an example where you had to learn a new song very quickly, and how did you approach that if you had to learn a new song quickly?
Well, it's not a sin to have a music stand up there, and usually these songs are fairly easy to learn. And even if you can't commit the lyrics to memory, you can still do the song. We have one guy in the group who is dyslexic, and he cannot remember lyrics, so he has a music stand all the time, even with songs that he's been playing for 30 years. So there's no sin in having a music stand up there if you need to.
I think you got to do what you got to do. What is your opinion of the talent competitions like America's Got Talent, X Factor, The Voice, any of these American Idol, any of these talent competitions?
I think that the kids are super talented. I mean, there's so much talent out there in this country and in the world. I just hate the way they make such a huge production, and they just kind of string you along. If they would just, have the people sing the songs and, sort of cut down the amount of backstory that there is, that you have to kind of wade through in order to get to somebody's performance, I'd probably watch more of that. But those people have undeniable talent. Sometimes in the early rounds, it's kind of funny because people have a dream, and these people want to be a singer, but they really don't have the talent, and it's kind of sad when their dreams are sort of dashed because they realize that they can't perform at that level.
Well, you just do the best you can do. It's all anyone can do. You
Right.
either have it or you don't. If one door closes, though, another door can open. That's for sure.
Right. Well, at least you roll that part of your dream out, and then you can go on and chase another dream.
That's correct. That's
Yeah.
right. Once you give up, you're finished. So what do you have? Have you already done now your experience in recording music and also in music videos? If you do, can you talk to me about that, your experiences?
Sure. Department of the Interior was just an amazing experience for me. I got exposed to Nashville. I had a friend who I met on a cycling trip over in Italy, and we both found out that we were songwriters and musicians, and so we decided to keep in touch afterwards. And COVID hit, and I wrote a song that I thought he would like, so I sent it off to him, and he really liked it, and took about a 4.5-minute song and turned it into a 3-minute song, and took it down to Nashville and recorded it. And the song is called "Before I Go." It's on my album, but he also recorded it and entitled it "All I Ask." But anyway, he invited me down for the session. And so in August of 2020, I went down to Nashville and listened to the guys record that song. And I was just blown away by the talent and the process, and decided that this was something that I wanted to do. So the next time he had a session, I had a song ready, and he said, "Yeah, come on down, and I've got 2 songs to record, and you can record your song." So went down and did that, and then was again blown away by the whole process. And so I decided that I would book my own session, and went down and recorded 6 songs in a week. And so that gave me 8 songs, and then I recorded 4 songs here in Dayton. But the Nashville experience was amazing. Kenny Chesney's lead guitar player, John Conley, Nick Buda, who is Taylor Swift's road drummer, just it went on and on. Mike Rojas, he was country music keyboard player of the year.
Really?
So tremendous talent on my album.
Well, you met all kinds of people. So you collaborated with many people. It sounds like you enjoy collaborating with others.
I do. I think that a song that you take into the studio is unfinished until you go through the process of finding out what other musicians think about it, how they interpret it, how they're going to take care of their instrument on the song and stuff like that. So my songs go in, and I've got a concept and an idea of how I want it to sound. But if another musician that's working on the session has a good idea or just blows it away with a great solo or something, I'm certainly not going to stick to my guns and say, well, no, my idea is better.
So you're open to feedback.
I try not to have a big ego when it comes to this stuff. I think it's better if it can be collaborative.
That's great. So that way you're open to new ideas and even constructive criticism. That's how you learn. Sometimes you got to fall down before you get yourself back up. That's right. Right.
And the next album is going to be kind of like that too. We're going to record this one in Dayton, but we're going to go about it where we're going to come in. We're going to record the demo recordings, and then we're going to work on the bass line and build the song from the ground up. We'll bring the bass player in. He'll play his bass part, and then we'll bring the drummer in, and the drummer will play off the bass player. So
that sounds like quite a plan. Have you ever had experience? You've done some music videos also. Talk to me about that. Some of your music video experiences.
Well, most of the stuff that we've done have just been live videos, like live performance videos. So we haven't really done one of those, slick produced, story type videos yet. But maybe we will in the future.
You never know. Have you ever done any perform on any cruise ships at all? You've ever got any cruise ships where you had gigs on cruise ships?
No, I haven't. I think that would be fun sometime.
It probably would be.
Yeah.
Normally they pay for the expenses, you get to travel.
Sure. Yeah, my wife would like to have me do that. I'm sure she loves to travel.
I understand. Do you have any advice now for aspiring singers and songwriters that they want to, go for their dreams and they want to make it in the music business? Any advice that you have?
Yeah, sure. I think the most important thing is to be true to yourself and to find your unique voice, because nobody, God made you unique and perfect in your own way. And so your job is to find out, what it is that you get to tell the world, and, what your story is and your message. And so, that's an important job for you, and that should come across in your music. And then the other thing I would say is that you need to understand the business side of music. The whole work for hire agreements, like whether you're going to have a manager, how the whole business side of music works before you get into it too deeply. So those are the two things that I would advise an aspiring musician to try to develop.
And how about as far as overcoming and handling rejection? How you've been able to do it, and how do you advise other people that are going through that too?
Well, I think one of the things that you need to remember is not to take anything personally. It's not a personal attack on you if somebody doesn't like your music. It's just that, they may like a different type of music. It doesn't mean that your music's bad. You just need to not take no for an answer and keep going with it.
I see.
Have some courage, but definitely don't take anything personally, and don't make assumptions like, somebody doesn't like your music. If you get a rejection, if you can talk with that person and ask them, why your music didn't fit what they were looking for, and they're willing to, take a little bit of time and tell you, that may help you down the road.
So you might be able to correct it then and make it more marketable, more entertaining.
Yeah, I mean, it's still got to come from you, and
Right.
and you got to be true to yourself. But you're writing music for a market. So if you want to be successful, you have to keep that in mind.
Right. I got you. And as far as music, do you prefer ballads or fast-paced songs, or which does it matter to you?
I like a combination of both. I mean, if you listen to my album, there's a combination of songs on there. There's ballads, there's up-tempo songs, there's some country on there, there's some real rockers, there's some blues, there's even some jazz on there.
Variety.
Yeah.
Well, Peter,
I just write what I feel.
Well, that makes sense. You really feel it, and you feel the passion. You love it. You put your mind, body, heart, and soul in everything you do. It sounds like you have had and continue to have a very exciting and very interesting life going forward, Peter.
Well, I've been so blessed. My life has just been so full and wonderful, and so I'm happy that I get a chance to now play music full time.
You're a happy camper.
It's a dream come true.
That's great. If you had to do anything over again in your life and your career, Peter, would you do anything differently?
Well, I wanted to be a musician when I was 19 and, just out of school. And my father talked me out of it and said that I needed to have a marketable profession. And so, I don't really look back and regret stuff. I think that, what you always need to do is you need to live in the present moment. And you can plan and hope and dream and stuff like that, but you just need to stay present and make this moment the best moment that you can make it. So I try not to have a lot of regrets, but I suppose if I had tried to become a musician at age 19, I don't know what would have happened. Maybe it would have killed the dream.
So maybe everything worked out for the better, and you probably don't have too many regrets from what you're telling me then.
I don't.
I done anything differently then. That's what it sounds like.
Yeah, I don't.
Yeah. Okay.
My life turned out, really good.
Fantastic.
Happy with it.
Do you have any present projects, Pete, that you're thinking of? Any current present projects?
Yeah. Album number 2, we're going to start recording that later this month.
Okay.
In fact, we'll probably start on it next week. And that will probably take us 6 months or so to get the album done. And then we'll put that one out and see how it does. And, kind of go from there. I've got a busy schedule this summer as far as performances are concerned. Lots of performances going forward, both with the duo, with the Fry's band, and also the Price Brothers have a few as well. So, I'm going to have to start gearing up for the Fry's band usually plays from late spring through mid-fall. And so we'll be starting our rehearsals here in probably another 2 or 3 weeks to get ready for the season. So I'll have to dust off all those songs and get ready to go with those as well. So
got some very interesting activities coming up.
Yeah, very busy.
Do you have any future dream projects that you haven't done, you're really considering doing in the future, Pete?
Dream projects?
Right. Something that you've always wanted to do, something you may want to do, may not now, but maybe in the future, a real dream that you have never, you've thought you want to do, you just haven't been able to yet, but you still want to do it in the future.
I'd like to see what doing a tour would be like. If Department of the Interior continues to do well and the second album does well, I would like to see maybe arrange for a short tour to start out with, and then
where would you tour? Where would you want to tour?
Well, I think that probably in sort of the Indianapolis, Chicago, Detroit, Nashville, Cleveland, just sort of that radius around where I live would be a good way to go.
Okay, so apparently you've never done any tour. I thought you had done just tours in the past. Apparently you have not.
No, we have never toured.
Okay.
Yeah,
so those are something to aspire to. That's something to look forward to in the future, then, to do the touring.
Yes. Yeah, I'd like to see what that's all about.
Okay. I want to give a shout out to Michael Stover. Michael Stover is the one, because of him, he connected me with you, Pete Price.
Yeah, Michael Stover is amazing. Great manager. If there are any musicians who are looking to take that next step and want to move forward with their careers and are looking for a manager, Michael Stover is as good as they get. So it's MTS Management.
That's a nice recommendation. I just thought I'd like to say that because I do appreciate what Michael Stover does, and because of him, we have a show. And he has connected me to more than one person. That's for sure.
Yeah, he's a good guy.
Yeah, I like Michael Stover. Great guy. Anyway, if people want to find out more about you, Pete, can you tell me how do they go about the links to find out more about you?
Sure.
Entertainment website, Facebook page, maybe IMDb page or a YouTube channel, or you tell me all the different links so people want to find you.
Okay. I think the best way and the way that people can most easily remember how to reach me and access my music and stuff is just to go to my website, because I've got links to everything else on my website. And my website is PetePriceMusic.com. So just remember Pete Price, put music on the end of it, and then .com. And that'll take you to my website. You can hear all my music. It'll take you to my Bandcamp page, to my YouTube page, and Facebook is linked there, and also Instagram.
Oh, great. So they just go to PetePriceMusic.com. They can find everything. They can find your Facebook page, YouTube channel. If you have an IMDb page, they can find that.
Right. Yeah, I don't have an IMDb page.
You don't have that. Okay.
But maybe I need one.
Or Spotify, any of those other.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We got Spotify and all the streaming services.
Okay.
I'm up on the streaming services. Spotify and Apple Music and Amazon Music and all that.
Fantastic. They should be able to find you then.
Okay. Oh yeah.
Okay, Pete. You know what? We have a treat instead of treatment for our audience here, Pete. We're going to present it's a Pete Price Showtime on the original Johnny Blaze show, where you're going to be blazing forward, and we have about 3 different songs, original songs that come from your album that you have done March of 2022, the Department of the Interior.
Great.
And so the first song is called Diamonds in the Sky. So kick back, relax, and enjoy the tunes of Pete Price, ladies and gentlemen, for Diamonds in the Sky.
In the storm's eye, as sheets of rain beat fields of grain, lightning rips the sky. I wait for the storm to abate. No more diamonds in the sky. I face the storm alone. Blue skies all gone, leaving me to carry on. There was a time in my life when I could not break free, and no one could hear my plea. When the sky was gray and black, I could not see that heaven was waiting for me. and hidden by my pride. There was a time in my life when I could not break free from the notion of what was me. With the storm cloud so dark that I could not see that the moment would come. Yeah, the moment would come. Yeah, the moment was waiting for me. That the moment would come. Yeah, the moment would come. Yeah, heaven was waiting for me.
Hey, bravo, bravo. Hey, that was beautiful.
Thank you. Thank you.
That's beautiful. It really is. It's unique,
Thank you.
and it's entertaining, and it's much fun.
Great.
Moving right along, blazing forward, ladies and gentlemen, with Pete Price's vocal stylings, and they are really something. I have another one. It's not called, some people say you have nothing in common except for a common cold, but this song, it's not that. It's called Common Ground. So let's go for it and have a blazing hot one time, ladies and gentlemen.
Over 50 years ago today, 4 young lives were swept away, and 9 more were shot down. When Nixon bombed Cambodia, I felt my world exploding up in a raging wall of sound. Growing up an Ohio boy, watching older brothers deploy to steamy Vietnam. Well, I was young, but I could see war was not the choice for me, 'cause that's not who I am. They say the truth is found there upon that common ground where our forefathers died. Will we join and fight, or will we argue day and night? It's up to us to decide. Let's cross that great divide. When we fight about the words, we forget the tune. Time is coming and it may be soon. We won't have a say. I respect your point of view as long as you could see mine too. We need to find a way. This country, but our politics makes me believe there's no good pick. That's what I have to say. But folks in DC, they keep us apart with issues to inflame our hearts. We need a better way. the truth is found there upon that common ground where our forefathers died. Will we join and fight, or will we argue day and night? It's up to us to decide, 'cause we can't run and hide. Over 50 years ago today, 4 young lives were swept away, and 9 more were shot down.
Another masterpiece, Pete Price.
Thank you.
I have one more. For the entertainment of our audience. It's inspirational, it's fun. And the final one was called The Crossing.
Cool.
The Crossing, another one, another gem, another original gem, Pete Price. Let's hear it.
The riverside, I could go up, I could go down, I could stay dry. What is on the other side? I could be safe, I could be warm, I could still hide. On the other shoreline, moving through the trees, I see the mansion that I had hoped to live in long ago. Will I ever find a place to rest, someone to comfort me? Oh, I just don't know, I just don't know. When I reach the riverside, the gray and the reflection that comes from life, no matter how it's lived. I had hoped someday to see that face smile back at me contented, but now I know it's you I must forgive. Shore, wanted to stay, wanted to go, hoping there's more. Wondering what I'll face across that raging river. Gotta move on, knowing full well that what lies for. Will I drown here in the currents of my life when it's the water that crossed my callous soul so long ago? And as I stare into the murky depths, I think I see the lessons that I have learned so many times before. When I reach the riverside, Seer speaks to me about redemption, and all I can think about, I can only contemplate revenge. Never thought I'd face an man so Potemkin, but now I realize that seeing the whole truth just makes me cringe. The other side, I can see light, I can see dark, I can decide. I don't waste waste my time but living an illusion. Simply be here. Simply be here now, enjoy the ride. I won't try so hard to meet your expectations. Hope you sympathize, and you'll simply take me as I am. I had hoped someday to see my life turn out to be transcendent, but I am just an ordinary man. Now I've reached the riverside, and I swam against the tide. And I've made the other side.
Pete Price, it was great having you on your show. You're most entertaining and fun and inspiring. So thank you so much for being a guest on the amazing Original Johnny Blaze Show. And now, for all my fans and friends, always keep a smile on your face and a song in your heart. And until next time, happy trails and blaze out.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you would like to be a guest on an entertainment talk show, please send us an email at amazingoriginaljbshow@gmail.com. All of our episodes will appear on YouTube and Facebook and receive over 3,000 views. Don't forget to sign up for our YouTube channel, and every guest will receive a complimentary DVD of their appearance on the show. Remember, we are much better than a podcast. And now, the amazing original Johnny Blaze has just left the building. Good night. God bless.